Hey guys, welcome to another show on Mondays. I just wanted to make this quick video just to briefly touch on my mission statement for the channel and for the shows as a whole, and I guess just talk about whatever else flows through my train of thought. So I wanted to start by talking about the mission statement, which, if you've seen, about 2 weeks ago, I think, I finally sat down and brainstormed like a kind of tagline, a mantra for the show, if you will, and that's a closer look at the comic book characters you know and love. And I think that this is good. It's good. I mean, it doesn't apply to every single thing that we do on the channel. Obviously, the show on Mondays, which you're watching now, is just kind of a whatever thing, but the mantra definitely applies to the show with issues and to the show with reviews to an extent. Originally I conceived the show as, well, originally I conceived it as a completely different thing, but when I actually started to produce it, it was conceived, and you can see this, I'm pretty sure I've gotten rid of it all now, but before I did this rebrand, basically the tagline of the show was not a tagline. It was just, I talk about whatever I want, week to week, on comics. And two problems with that. The first one is just, that's not very interesting to people. Why should, that's just telling someone that you're gonna talk about whatever. They can't expect anything from you. And I think one of the reasons that I started by saying that was because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what my niche was. I knew it was comic books, and that's it. So I just went with anything about comic books, which was fine for the time, but to survive and thrive, you're gonna have to be hyper-specific, and not like, I say hyper-specific, but you really don't have to be hyper-specific, you just have to have a clear goal, and you can stray from it every once in a while, like, with there are some episodes of the show that stray from the mantra even before the mantra was invented. Like, for example, just off the top of my head, the Thor Ragnarok video doesn't exactly talk about a character specifically, but it talks about characters in an upcoming movie. You know what I mean? It's, if I had to sit down and really look at that video and see if it hits with the mantra, I would say no, it doesn't. But it's something I wanted to do, and it was before the mantra was created. Oh, and the second thing about the problem that having a like non-topic or like a non-specific mantra thing is just that it doesn't say anything about your channel. It kind of just, you're kind of just throwing a fish into the water and seeing where it goes, really. That's an awful metaphor, but when you go up to someone and you describe your show as, I talk about comics every week, they're gonna be like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean you talk about comics every week? Do you review comics? Do you explain comics? Do you talk with other people? Do you do a podcast about comics? So you have to be specific with how you brand yourself, and I finally came to that realization and was like, hey, maybe saying that I talk about whatever's on my mind, my specific mind each week, is not a good way to brand yourself, which eventually led to the closer look at the comic book characters we all know and love, which I think is really good, because A, it tells you that, right off the bat, it's a comic book show, B, it tells you that we're talking about the characters of those comics, and C, the we know and love kind of tells you that you're gonna know who these characters are, maybe up front. And if you don't, normally I provide, and specifically like in the Power Hour segments, I provide a short version of their origin, just in case you don't know who that character is. Especially coming from someone who's only read comics for about a year now, I have a very, not to toot my own horn, it really isn't tooting my own horn, but I have a very interesting take on comics, because I just started last year, I have a huge Marvel bias, and I started reading because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the movies as a whole. So, and a lot of people probably do have that view on comics, especially in this day and age, with the movies making people want to buy more and more, but I fell head first into it, and 6 months after I bought my first comics, I started wanting to make shows about them, wanting to talk to other people about them, because none of my friends read comics. I'm the only one that reads comics in my friend group. So yeah, the mantra, closer look at the comic book characters we know and love. I really like it. I think it says everything it needs to say about the channel. It doesn't specifically apply to everything, but reading that, if I go up to someone and say, hey, you should check out my channel, and they say, why? I will say, because I provide a closer look at the comic book characters you know and love. And right off the bat, they'll either think, oh, well, I don't think that's for me. I don't really like comic books. I don't really like characters. I don't and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine. Or on the flip side, they could be like, oh, hey, maybe I do want to know more about Spider-Man and all of his alternate universe versions. So I'm kind of running out of things to say here. I really just wanted to present that new rebranding to you all and see what you thought about it. It's been up for about a week, and no one's really commented on it. Mostly because it's really just text branding everywhere. The only place that you see it in an image is in the banner, which the banner I don't think is final yet. I'm not really working on it, but I just don't know what else to do with it. So if you have any suggestions or want to take a whack at the banner, email me or tweet me. I don't know what else to say, so thanks for watching. Next time I have an actual good idea for an episode of the show on Mondays, and we do that instead of me sitting on my bed talking for however long I talked. We'll see you in the editing room. Bye-bye!